Amigos del brunch, es un honor y un sueño para mí. O sea, esta locutora está cumpliendo un sueño en este momento. Conversar con una mujer que creo que ha cambiado la industria musical, que hay un antes y un después de Billie Eilish. There's a before and an after Billie Eilish in the music world. How are you, Billie?
I'm really good. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really excited to talk to you. I'm really excited to talk about this amazing album you've done.
Thank you.
Everything you do. And it's only been out for about 2 months, and it's already everyone's soundtrack. It's already out there. How does it make you feel that something you worked so hard on is now somebody else's story out there?
It's definitely hard to accept and to process. It's also crazy because it is really like the hardest I've ever worked on anything, really. And so to have it be out at all is insane, and then to have people like feel the way that they do and connect to it how they do has been so amazing, and I'm so lucky, and it's just been the coolest thing. I've honestly had to like stop looking at it because for a while I was like reading every single thing because I was so excited, and then I was like, this is dangerous, I got to get off here. So but it's been really cool.
Do you ever feel scared or nervous to put something so personal out there? Because that's the magic of your music, that it feels personal to each person that listens to it.
I know, isn't that wild? I mean, that's what's amazing about like art in general, is that it's so specific, but it's universal because everybody, goes through everything that they go through, and like, we all, everybody has their own experience in life, and nobody has the exact same experience, but we all kind of, when you get deep down, it's like we all have the same feelings. And I think that's what's so amazing about music, is that you can just connect to something that has nothing to do with you, and the song is about something completely different, but for you it really means something so specific. And I think that I'm such a fan of music, and I always have been, and the idea that people feel that way about my music, which is the way that I've felt about music for my whole life, is just like, hard to comprehend. So it's really cool. It's really special.
I can only imagine. And what I love about music as a fan is that somehow with everything you release, I feel like we get to see a different side of Billie. We don't know you. We're in an entire different country from you, but somehow we feel like we get to know you. What did you want fans to discover about you from Hit Me Hard and Soft?
Gosh, I don't know. That's a hard one. I feel like a couple people have asked me that, and I don't know if I have much of an answer. I think I guess my answer to that would maybe just be like, I don't even know. I feel like the thing that's coming to mind right now is that it's just about change, and how change is so important and it should be accepted. And I talk a lot about how growth is like one of the most important things that we have as people, and like changing and evolving is like so natural. It's like what we've always done. Like, what's one thing humans have done? It's evolved over time. And I think that you kind of get stuck in this idea of like, oh, they're that person's that one thing, and that's what I know them as, and that's what they're gonna stay as. And then something changes and you go, why did you change? What happened to the old you? And I think with this album, I would say a big thing that I would push, I guess, to people is, all I would say is like, change is really good, and it just opens so much up to like so many new things. And like, you can always change your mind, and you can always like experience new things, and just like allow yourself to be like open to the possibility of evolving and changing and growing up and going back to who you were and finding a new version of yourself. And there's so many versions of ourselves that we don't even know unless we like allow them,
It is necessary to change as well, like otherwise how do you grow?
I know. We have to.
Yeah, definitely. Do you find yourself discovering things about you while you're writing songs, things that you probably didn't even know were there?
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think sometimes I'll write a verse and I'll go like, oh, that's how I'm feeling, or like, oh right, like that's what was going on. And I don't know, it's like funny. It's almost like it's like an outside entity in a way. Like it feels almost like something else is creating it for me in a way. Like I feel like I'm writing music, but some other force of nature is writing it through me in a way. Like sometimes it really feels like spiritual in that way, and I'm like not really even a spiritual person, but I do feel that way. And then sometimes, which has happened many times and is always insane and will always be insane and will happen again, is that I'll make something, my brother and I will make something that feels like not necessarily autobiographical. Like it feels like it's about something else. Like for instance, like Barbie, you know, where we wrote that song, we were like, this isn't about us at all. This isn't about me. This is about this character, and it's about this and this. And then days go by, and I listen to it, and I realize it's fully about me. And I just wasn't. It was just totally my subconscious writing it for me. And that is one of my favorite parts of making music and making art, is when you don't realize how truthful you're actually being and how real it actually is.
Can I confess that I still cannot stop crying when I hear that song? It has that effect on me. That's the crazy part of it, that you discover yourself through these songs, but also other people discover themselves through your songs.
Right, I know. Isn't that amazing?
It's like, I think it's like a great gift, and I also feel like what you've created with Finneas is a great gift as well.
Yeah.
What do you think is it's the best thing you've learned from working with your brother?
Best thing I've learned. To trust the process, I think. I think for a long time I was very like, I did not trust the process. I was like really worried immediately and like, wait, it's not gonna be good, it's not gonna turn out good, what do we do? And I think that the biggest thing I've learned is to just be like, it will figure itself out, you know, we'll get there. We just you know, trust ourselves and it will get there. And sometimes getting there means a train wreck happening, and that's fine. It just, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. So I think like not worrying so much about if, like, I don't know if it's good or bad, and it's just like whatever happens, it's gonna happen, and eventually it will be fine.
You're such a wise woman, Billie.
Thank you.
Why? Like how?
I don't know.
I love that, and I have to confess as well that I'm obsessed with Chihiro, of course.
Yay!
Because it's such a melancholic and sad song in a way, but it's also very, like, it has very good vibes to it.
I know.
I'm curious whether or not you feel like maybe writing music or this type of music helps you heal sometimes, something you have inside.
For sure, 100% it does. Specifically, like certain songs, depending on what they are or what they're about. Like on the album specifically, like Skinny was a big one that was really cathartic and like very necessary for my person and my growth and my like seeing myself and like yeah, and also like The Greatest was a big one. Like when we wrote The Greatest, it was like a weight was off my back. Like I felt like that song was bursting at the seams to be written, and then once we wrote it, I just was like, it was like the biggest sigh of relief ever. And then honestly, then it opened up so much more inspiration for the rest of the album, and that happens all the time. Like music is so therapeutic, and being able to express yourself like that and be heard is like the greatest gift on earth.
You should try singing your songs in tones that they're like someone like me would never hit. That's the most therapeutic thing in the world. Like being in the car trying to sing Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's like I know I'm messing this up, but I'm feel good.
You feel good, as you should.
And you know, you directed this video, of course, and you're no stranger to, I guess, visual things. I know you have 2 Oscars. I actually saw you at the Critics' Choice Awards as well. And do you feel like maybe creating music for visual stories has helped you somehow create visual stories for music?
Yes, 100%. I think I'm just like I'm such a visual person, and I just love. Since I was a kid, I've just always loved visuals and loved photography and cinematography, and been very drawn to the inner workings of film. I think that so much of my music videos have come from my love of the films that I've you know, that have been the, like, I want to say soundtrack, but movie soundtrack. I don't know what I'm saying, but yes, I've gotten a lot of inspiration from them.
Can I ask, what's that one movie you cannot stop watching?
Oh my God. I mean, the greatest movie of all time is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's a great movie.
Really good movie. It's just perfect. It's just perfect in every way.
I would love to see a version like with you in it or something like that.
I mean, yeah, if only.
Everything is possible here.
That's right.
Well, Billie, I have to tell you this, and I say it from the bottom of my heart. I feel very lucky to be alive at the same time as you are, and to be able to witness what you've done. I feel like seriously, I feel like you've changed the game for so many people, and I'm so glad that people out there and younger people have someone like you to sing for them and to help them express their feelings.
Yeah.
Is there something you want to say to everyone who somehow feels like you're saving their lives and helping them communicate better?
Yeah, I mean, I would say thank you, and I would also say like I love you, and I'm I feel lucky that I get to be that for people. And you know, some people don't have any other way of healing and coping with things, and music is the only way. And I think like if people feel seen because of me and understood, that is like my, you know, the greatest gift that I could receive. And I, you know, that is enough motivation to do what I do. And I don't know, when people tell me things like that, it's hard for my brain to like process. It's like I wish I could really take it in. It's really hard though. But just knowing is really special. And honestly, something that's really touching to me is like seeing my mom interact with kids that say that, you know, my music saved their life, because, you know, my mom raised a girl who was also like that and had a lot of, I struggled a lot with depression and, you know, just a lot of darkness, and a big thing that saved me was music. And, you know, I think that for her, watching her see, you know, kids say the same thing about me that I've said about people, and the fact that I've been that for them is like, my mom cries about it and it just makes me like cry, and it's just like so touching, and it's surreal and insane. And anyway, yeah, it's an honor. I'm really glad that I get to do what I do.
It feels like it was your purpose, pretty much.
Kind of, right?
And it is all started in your room.
I know.
I cannot, like.
I know.
How far, like, now that you look back and how far you've come, what makes you the proudest of what you've built?
I think that people is like the way that people have connected to it, and you know, being somebody's voice if they don't feel like they have one has been something that I really take pride in and feel really proud of. And I think like my relationship with the fans has been something I've always loved a lot, and a big part of why I am where I am. And I don't know, I love them so much, and they're just endlessly, I have an you know, endless amount of love for them, because I am them, you know, I am them. I'm that kid too, and I don't know, I love them all so much.
And they are you, because in a few years' time, you're going to be like, yeah, I used to listen to this person, or I still listen to this person, and that shaped me.
Well, also, like, they're literally me. When I'm around them, I'm like, you guys are just me. Like, the way that they talk and the way they look and dress and, like, things they say, I'm like, you guys, we're just all the same. So.
It is crazy. I just saw some of your fans outside, and it's just like, it feels like a community somehow.
I know.
And Billie, I have one last question for you that I've been willing to ask you all these 3 times I attempted to interview you. And it's since 2015, Ocean Eyes, now till she here. I cannot pronounce that.
No, you're fine. You're doing it.
What is one thing that you are glad you have overcome throughout these years? And what is one thing you're really happy it's never going to change?
One thing I'm glad I've overcome is probably my kind of feeling of not liking who I was and wanting to be someone else all the time. Like, that was something I really struggled with and was also dealing with, especially, and was made worse by like getting famous as a teenager, because I didn't know myself, and I was like, wait, why am I suddenly labeled as one thing when I don't even know what that is? And I just hated that feeling, the feeling of just like not knowing who I was and wishing I was a different way. and not liking how I carried myself and being embarrassed, and just like I'm really glad that the embarrassment is basically gone. It obviously comes back, but like as my like in myself, that's something I'm glad I've overcome. Also, my like not liking making music, I've kind of overcome that. Like I still am.
Thank God you did.
I know I struggle with it because it's challenging, but I do enjoy it now, which is great. And then something I'm glad will never change is probably just my relationship with my brother and the way we work together. And I mean, it will change obviously, but he'll always be my brother, and we will always love each other so much. And like genuinely, no matter what, like all I need is my brother if I had nothing else, and that I'm really grateful for.
That shows. As someone who's way older than you, Billie, I'm just going to tell you, please never change. I think you're amazing. And she's even better than we thought. Like, if you had expectations, this really gets over any expectations. And thank you so much for your time and for making this music, this amazing music you make.
Yeah.
I only have good words for you, and thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
Nunca pensé que iba a decir esto. Billie Eilish en el brunch de los 40.
Yay.